So this is like the third or fourth time I'm trying to get this done. So hopefully I'll be able to get through this video without having to stop and restart. And so I'm going over the quiz questions, and this is the first one where I give you a set of for loops and ask you what the output is going to be. The formatting here is off, so this is what I gave you. And we're going to start with the first one. The first one is a for loop, and they give you an array that you're going to iterate through. Right? So the first time through the for loop, this num variable is going to be equal to the first item in the array, the first element, right? And we call this iterating by item. Right? And so num is equal to 1 the first time through, 2 in the second iteration, 3 on the third iteration, 4 on the fourth iteration, and so on until we get to the end, and then it breaks. So if that's the case, then the first print will print out 1, comma, right? The second print will print out 2, comma, 3, comma, 4, comma, 5, comma, until we get to 10, and then it'll print out a comma and break. Now, this num plus 1 won't affect anything, right? Because why? Well, num's equal to 1 on the first iteration of the for loop. It comes down here, prints out 1, comma, and now num is equal to 2, right? Not equal to 1 anymore, but it's equal to 2. But when we come back up here into the for loop, num is now not going to be equal to 2 anymore. We're throwing that value away. It's going to be equal to the second element in the array, the second item, right? So now num is equal to 2. So we're going to print out 2. And then num's going to be equal to 3, but who cares? That's not going to be printed out, right? So num's equal to 3. But when we come back into the for loop and we iterate to the next element, now num is going to be equal to 3, and so on. So this num plus 1 doesn't affect anything. Right? And so this is an error on my part, and there's no correct answer for this question. So this is not going to count against you, right? If this question is out of 4 points, then it will now be out of 3, right? So this won't be in the mix. All right, let's look at the next one. Here we have the same exact for loop as we have in question 1, where we're iterating through an array, but instead of putting the actual array in the for loop, we are putting the name of the array through the for loop. But it is behaving in exactly the same way. Right? So the first time through the for loop, num is equal to 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and then breaking out. So this gets a little bit tricky because here we have num array of the element in num array, well, let's go through it. Num is going to be equal to 1 the first time through the for loop. And so we're setting num array element 0, right? 1 minus 1. So the first element in the array is going to be equal to 1 times 1. So it's equal to 2. Equal to 1. Right? So now we go back into the for loop. Now num is equal to 2. So the next element, the 1 element in the array, is going to be equal to 2 times 2, which is 4. And then the next time through, the array num sub 2 is equal to 3 times 3, which is 9, and then 16, and then 25. But here we're not printing anything out. So that's the content of num array. Now we're coming down here and we're printing the contents of num array, right? With the same fashion. We have a for loop with a variable, and that variable is going to be iterating through the num array. And so the first time through, well, we have print out 1 minus 1, right? That's 0, comma. The second time through, we have 4 minus 1, that's 3, comma. And then we have 9 minus 1 is 8, and then 16 minus 1 is 15, and then 25 minus 1 is 24. So we're going to be choosing option B for this question here. Now we get down to this next question. We have c equal to 0, right? And c is going to be our counting variable. We know it's a counting variable, or a what is it? What do they call it? It's a oh my goodness, I forgot what terminology they use in the book, but accumulator, right? So an accumulator variable. And so we know it's an accumulator because it's found on both sides of the equal sign, right? So we have this for loop, and now we have range, right? Now range starts at this first number and then works its way and checks if num is equal to if num is less than this number here, 10. Once it is less than this number 10, it's going to break out of the for loop. So we have num is equal to 5 to start off. And so we have here a 0. C is going to be equal to 0 plus 5 minus 4, which is 1. Right? When you add that all up, so C is equal to 1. We print out that 1. And then num is equal to 6. Now 6 minus 4 is 2. And C is equal to 1. So then that's 1 plus 2. Now C is equal to 3. Right? And then we come back in, and now num is equal to 7. So 7 minus 3 is 3 plus 3. So C is equal to 6. And we print out the 6. So the only answer that, that suits that for loop would be option A. Okay? So you would choose that. And then, of course, this last one here, we have it running from a range up to 5. And when you have range, you don't specify the lower end, it starts at 0. So we have num is equal to 0 to start off, and we have this calculation, 0 times 2 is 0. And then we have 0 times 0, so C is going to be equal to 0 to start off, print out the 0. Now we have num is equal to 1, and so we have here 0 times 2 is 0, and we have 1 times 1 is 1. C is now equal to 1. So just stopping right there, the only option that fits would be option C. Okay, so that is the for loop multiple choice question.